Ain't this a nice song?
Up ship.
Hello and welcome to podcast 28 of Airship 27 Productions. I'm your co-host, Chief Engineer Rob Davis, and here alongside me via Skype is my cohort in crime,
Captain Ron Fortier. And hi, everyone. If I sound a little hoarse, please forgive me. Rob and I were just talking before the show started. I'm dealing with a little bit of a head cold, but I'm sipping on some water and honey, which seems to be soothing the old larynxes. So I should be able to muddle through with this episode. So many things going on with Airship 27, so we need to jump right into this. And before we do, though, as ever, okay, our little commercial here, and thanking the people that make this show possible. We are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find every episode of the Airship 27 podcast on comicspodcast.com each and every month. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Comic Frontline, YouTube, and of course, Zone4podcast.com. So to all those people who help spread the word, we say thank you very much.
Thank you. Yep.
Yay. So anyways, after a brief a hiatus, other things going on. There's never a dull moment at the Airship 27 hangar. But it had been a while since we got a book out, and I'm happy to say that's no longer the case. Why don't you take that first agenda and tell our loyal airmen what new title is actually out right now?
Okay, what's new and available right now? After, like as Ron said, after a quiet few weeks, production started rolling once again with the release of Jezebel Johnson, Sea Witch. This is the third in Nancy Hansen's excellent pirate saga that is winning over many of our readers. It tells the story of a young island girl who rises up through the ranks of buccaneers by her wit and courage. Book 3, Sea Witch, has a wonderful cover by Laura Gibbons with yours truly, Rob Davis, handling the interiors. The book has been out for just over 2 weeks now as we record this in paperback and will soon be available in Kindle. I believe it's available now. At least it should be. I'll double check after the podcast is over, but I know I got a notification from them yesterday. They wanted me to certify that I had the copyright authorization from the author. So I told them okay. I did, and we'll see if they actually authorize it. And I was going through email, and I just hadn't gotten that far yet. I suspect it's ready as we speak.
All right, excellent. Well, terrific. I mean, that's really good news.
Okay.
And as you know, earlier in the year and sometime last year too, Amazon's publishing arm CreateSpace started getting a little more picky-uni than normal with wanting all these kinds of verification. And we've actually, thanks to Ian Watson's suggestions, altered our contracts with our creators ever so slightly, where it actually boldly states in print and on contract that they are the sole copyright owners of their material. So if and when anytime they need to look at that, these contracts I have on hand, and we can whip them off to them just like that.
Right. And those also state that they've authorized us to print them. So, which is what they're looking for. And it's usually when I put the Kindle version up, is when they start asking questions.
Right. I don't know. Because they've already seen 2 novels in this series.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I would expect some kind of red flag to come up.
Yeah, could be.
Now thanks again to Ian's wonderful suggestion and altering the contracts, that just now becomes a minor speed bump. And hey, like myself, because you do the interior illustrations, we know how good these books are. I mean, Nancy's, Pirate Saga, yes. Jezebel Johnson. I really want this to find a huge audience, Rob. The books are that good. The last time Nancy and I talked, I think she's almost 60-70% done volume 4.
Wow.
And just to give you a heads up, and to give all our loyal airmen a heads up, she will be appearing this coming Sunday on Art Sippo's wonderful interview show, Arts Reviews, to talk about Jezebel Johnson.
Good. Yeah, she needs to get that. Yeah, we need to get that pushed out there, definitely.
Right, and as soon as that episode airs, I will pass along the link all over the internet so people can tune in and listen, because Nancy does a phenomenal job. And considering all the stuff that's out there in the new pulp market today, this is straight out classic pirate adventure. More people need to find it.
Absolutely.
All right, okay, so let's look at what we've got. As we've said, the logjam seems to have cleared, and we do have several new titles winding their way towards production in the coming up next files. I'm going to take the first one,
okay,
and that's Sslits, Sslits. Michael Vance is one of our most innovative writers, besides being the Airship 27 Productions' very own marketing manager. Sslits is a science fiction thriller about a first contact with a strange alien being who crash lands on Earth back in the early 1950s, and then forms a relationship with a woman over the course of the next few decades. It is a fast-moving thriller that explores various themes of good and evil and the guises in which they appear. The interior illustrations are by our good friend Gary Cotto, and the cover is by the ever-amazing Ted Hammond of Canada. Having read this one, Rob, Michael gave us one heck of a creepy sci-fi thriller. And
he specializes in creepy. Creepy and
yes,
weird
he did.
stuff.
He's really more known for his horror work.
Yeah.
So he pushed this envelope out a little bit. And you know how I would liken it, Rob? Do you remember that John Carpenter sci-fi thing with Kurt Russell, The Thing?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is very much like The Thing, but not up in Alaska or the poles.
Right.
This is like The Thing smack dab in the middle of an American metropolis, So if that gives our readers a little taste and tease, stay tuned. We're almost done. The only thing we have left to do, we have the entire package put together, is for Michael to give it his once-over. And once he has done that, the book gets assembled and goes off to Amazon, and you will be seeing the promotion that we always do when it's ready.
And hopefully,
what's coming after?
Yeah, hopefully he will restrain himself from rewriting very much. That's always my fear when we hand it off to the writers, that they go in and they go, well, this sequence here could have been a little better. Guys, don't touch it, please. I've already put it together. You add stuff in and it won't fit.
That's a temptation.
Yes.
Us poor writers have a hard time, letting go of, Rob. It's like, we're going to let our baby go out into the world.
Yeah,
and maybe I can just fine tune it a little bit more.
That's the real trick with being a creative, though, is knowing when it's never going to match what's in your head. It's never going to be 100% of what's in your head. So you have to get to a certain point where you go, okay, now is when I have to let it go, and let it go out into the world and do its thing. It's not going to be perfect, so that was hard for me to, as a visual artist, to realize. I could tweak. I could take my eraser and tweak this little spot here, and I could do that from now till doomsday. But there's a point at which you just have to let it go. But anyway,
right. It becomes the bane of editors. Because, as you know, we have a process. We get manuscripts in, and we work. You taking care of the art and the packaging, and me taking care of editing, finding proofreaders, and then we've got the whole package together. And as a courtesy and a professionalism, we give it back to the creator and say, here you go. Please give it a look over. And the next thing you know, we start getting these, well, do you mind if I change a little bit here and there? And that's, your hackles go up, because suddenly they're rewriting chapters. It's like, no, don't do that.
Stop. It's okay. Let's put your baby out there for the world to see. It's fine the way it is. It's as close to perfect as it needs to be. So anyway, that
All right, so after Sslits, what do we have coming down the tubes?
Yeah, the next one is, and I hope I pronounced this right. I think the way it's spelled, it should be pronounced like this. It's the Eye of Kwang Chi.
Correct.
Writer Fred Adams Jr. is by far one of the most prolific writers working with Airship 27 production these days. That's an understatement.
Amen.
With this new title, Fred is once again giving us a new mystery series, and as ever has added his own unusual flair to the mix. The story takes place in San Francisco at the turn of the century, and the heroes are two co-joined twins, Ming and Hong. The children of a wealthy export tycoon, their mother died in childbirth, and their father had them tutored by an exceptional scholar who challenged them to rise above their so-called handicap and embrace the world. When their father passes away, the twins take over his empire and soon become highly influential members of the San Francisco elite. When a mysterious gem from China is stolen and reportedly believed to be in the Queen City, the brothers are called into the matter to help find the jewel. This is really one of Fred's best works to date, which is saying something. And complementing Fred's tale is the art of British talent Morgan Fitzsimmons, who not only provided the gorgeous color cover, but also 10 stunning black and white interior illustrations. We normally only feature 9 illustrations in our novels, but Morgan became so enamored with the characters, she volunteered to do a very special end piece, thus giving us 10 total illustrations. Yeah, it's kind of it falls at the very end of the story, the 10th illustration. Normally we have the 9 and they fall within the story, but she wanted to do this last one just to kind of say the end with illustrations.
Right. It is a very strong romantic nature to the story that Morgan was taken to, very much like a moth to the flame, Rob, all right? She loved the story. She loved reading it and doing the illustrations, and I thought she would be a perfect fit for this because we had worked with her one time before when she'd done several illustrations for us in Legends of New Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
And I saw that flair in her, all right, that sense of the romantic. So after having read Fred's novel the first time through and understanding how unique these protagonists are, okay,
yeah.
I thought, Morgan's the person to go after for this, and then I hit a bullseye with this. And a note, Rob, to all our loyal listeners listening into this. If these brothers, Ming and Hong Smith, sound at all familiar, it's because Fred actually did base the fictional co-joined twins in the book to 2 actual brothers who did live in San Francisco in this period. So Fred actually drew his inspiration from 2 real co-joined brothers. And, obviously what he's done is he's dramatized it, changed their names, and made it a mystery novel. And if it's successful, he has plans to do more of them. So there you go.
Yeah, this is like another one of his series. I forget what the other one is. Is another detective series that he did.
Right now he's doing. This will become a series, but he started off with the Sam Dunn mysteries.
That was it. Yeah.
Right. In what is it? Murder Melody. And then he created C.O. Jones,
mm-hmm.
and he's done several of those. He's done
6 Gun Terrors,
the Hit Wolf series,
and Hit Wolf, yeah.
Okay, and as yet another one we haven't even released yet, which is Ike Marr's Private Eye.
Oh my, that's the first I've heard of that one. So that's one I hadn't even.
See what I'm saying? When I say Fred Adams is prolific, that's no understatement. All right, yeah. I mean he writes books faster than I can read them. So.
Yeah. We need to put a book on his head or something to slow him down.
and then again, just so our loyal listeners, and hopefully those of you who've already had the pleasure of reading any Fred Adams novel will know that kind of writing speed, expediency, whatever you are, has not diminished the quality of his work in the slightest.
No.
And that's, again, because of his background, Rob, as a college English teacher and compositions teacher. he's taught writing fiction for years. So now it's his chance to unleash his own personal creativity, and we're thrilled that he brought that all that talent to Airship 27.
Yeah, the dam broke on his writing. So anyway,
all right,
you're going to tell us what's next.
So we have one more project in the works that hopefully our loyal Legionnaires will be seeing within a month, maybe, and that's one that you and I are both intimately excited about, and that's Bass Reeves' Frontier Marshal Volume 2. After the success of Volume 1 last year, we were anxious to get out more stories featuring the greatest lawman of the Old West, Deputy U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves. Though these stories are fiction, they are based on a real historical person. Mel Odom and Derek Ferguson, who were part of Volume 1, return in this second collection, this time joined by new writers Michael Black and Milton Davis. A respected new pulp publisher in his own right, this is Davis's first work for Airship 27, and we're very happy to have him on board. Rob is currently doing the illustrations, while Hungarian artist Marco Torini, who actually won a Pulp Factory Award, I believe, for his first Bass Reeves cover, was generous enough to give us a cover for this sequel. Fingers crossed, buddy, maybe sometimes in July we'll see this out.
Yeah, it just depends on how quickly I can get the rest of the illustrations done. I finished the first one last night. It was I have to do research on this, of course, to make it look like the real Old West. So last night was the second of two nights I worked on the first illustration, but I've got all the background stuff is put together. So the next few should go a little quicker. We'll see.
All right.
But there's always other stuff in the pipeline too. So something jumps up and gets in the way. You never know.
There's always stuff coming. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. I think we mentioned Pat Cabriel here in the last couple episodes, and how his life changed. Way for the better at the start of the year when he and his wife had their first child, a little boy. But now Pat's having to readjust with his wife going off to work, and Pat staying home as the stay-at-home dad and doing his artwork, and it has put him behind. We have an actual new Jim Anthony Super Detective book that's all ready to go. The interiors are beautifully done by Richard Junn, and all we're really waiting on for that project at all is for Pat to get his schedule back and start playing catch up. And I can only imagine what that must be like in his studio, and again watching his little boy at the same time. But fingers crossed, ultimately we'll see it. I have heard from Pat. That's how I learned all of this. And he asked us to be a little more patient and to let him learn this daddy role that he's playing now. And so, as you and I are both quite familiar with.
Yes.
And so that's it. That comes in, and away we go. And to give a little teaser to all our loyal fans, we've just talked about those books that are nearing completion. In the months ahead, as the year goes on, you will be seeing some of the things that I think are going to be highlights of the year. You will be seeing another Captain Action novel by Jim Beard. This will be Jim's third and final Captain Action novel for Airship 27. And this one he pulled in an old friend of ours, another great new pulp writer, Barry Reese, to help him flesh this one out and round it out. It is a fantastic novel. It's absolutely gorgeous. A fun read. Rob will be doing the illustrations for that. And then, once that's safely, on the pipeline and moving ahead forward, because up next, as ever, another Sherlock Holmes, Rob. Volume 10 of Consulting Detective. So,
yeah, they still sell. Yeah, they're still selling. It's just amazing. Sherlock Holmes just keeps rolling right along. It's amazing. We had to get talked into doing Sherlock Holmes books, and now it's one of our biggest sellers and most popular things that we do. But originally we had to kind of get talked into it. So
Michael Pohl, God bless him.
Yep, all his fault.
Yep. Yeah, right. Okay. Hey, look. We're gonna get into that section of the show right now that's become a staple of the show, which is, of course, because it's become pretty much a central magnet in both mine and Rob's life the last few months, and that's our monthly updates on where Franklin and Hustler are with the Brother Bones movie. Now, if you've been following at all my postings and Rob's the last few weeks, you will know they finally held auditions in Seattle for 2 days, brought in all these amazing, talented actors, did the auditions, and then were kind enough to record. They did record them, but they didn't went back and edited them and sent Rob and I the top 2 or 3 choices they had for each specific role. And Rob, I was just blown away by the level of talent that we got to see.
Yes, yeah. I got it while I was it was on Memorial Day weekend, and I was with my family in Springfield, Missouri. So we were like 3 or 4 hours away from home, and my daughter was along with us, and she is she's been in college. She's a graduate student now of drama and English. So of course I pulled her aside and showed her these, and we went through not quite all of them, but a good number of them, and she was going, "Wow, this person's got this," and that. So, and we pretty much agreed on which ones we thought were the better ones, and we pumped those back to you. And apparently, we pretty much agree. There's one where you and I have a little bit of a disagreement, but that's the way things go. Sometimes there's something rubs me the wrong way, or something rubs you the wrong way. This particular actress kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but. I think she did get the part, if I recall correctly, right?
Yes, she did.
Okay,
yes,
that's fine. So I won't mention her name because, number one, it's a personal opinion. So we won't mention which character it was or what the actress's name was, because I think everybody should have that. We should be boosting them all and not saying anything negative about any of them.
Oh no,
because I think they were all excellent.
And again, I'm very excited by what's happening online, because now that they have won these respective roles, they are getting very enthusiastic about the project, about the film, and they've started connecting with yours truly online. And I'm getting more and more press releases from their individual agencies and that kind of thing, in creating, Rob, a really, really strong buzz, all right, for the film.
That's good.
What's going on? Yeah, that's what we need now. We're at that stage. I'm going to say one thing real quick, and then we'll get into this section, and that's just prior to Rob and I starting to record this episode, Eric Franklin got a hold of me by email with the fantastic news that we've been waiting for, all right? And that's that he and Daniel earlier today posted the Kickstarter campaign for the Brother Bones, the Undead Avenger movie. It is up at Kickstarter, and that's what Daniel sent me a quick email, knowing we were going to do this recording. Rob knew that we were close to the starting point. Basically just said, Ron, it's up. He sent me the link. I took 2 seconds to look at it. It's a phenomenal page. They did their homework. Everything that we've been telling people about is there. Once you and I have finished recording this episode, I will be jumping on Facebook, oh boy, with both feet, and we're going to start sending out that link. People have to understand Kickstarter allows you 2 months. So basically, when people, find the link and go to the program, we have 2 months to collect.
60 days.
Yeah, that's all. The funds that Daniel and Eric will require to make this film and to make it as good as we all want it to be, not only for ourselves, but for you out there. So bear with us, please. Anything you can do. And you know what? If you can't even contribute anything at all, if you can be so generous as to take that link and batch mail it to your friends on your email, you cannot believe how that rippling effect will cut across thousands and thousands of names eventually. So, again, give us your support, cross your fingers for us, and this thing starts later tonight. But for right now, Rob, why don't you start reading Eric's opening statement?
All right. The new updates for the Brother Bones movie. Yeah, from Eric Franklin, writer, director, co-producer. Number 1. The big news is that we have a cast for Brother Bones. Competition was fierce, and there was a great deal of debate among the team. However, I, as a director, am beyond delighted to work with an eager, energetic cast that I know will do each and every role justice, and I believe I have made all of them New Pulp fans. The cast is as follows. Do you want me to read all of those? Or you want to do it?
No. Let's go back and forth.
Okay.
Why don't you read like 4 or 5?
Okay.
And then hand it off to me. I'll do the same, and we'll go through it.
All right.
And as always, our immediate warning to all these wonderful actors. Please forgive us if we brutalize here. We're going to do the best we can.
It is a big joke on this podcast that Rob mispronounces names. So
he's not the only one. He's not the only one.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna mispronounce someone's name. So I have an Anglo-Saxon name. Davis is pretty easy to pronounce. So sometimes I have difficulty with some they're a little off of the Anglo-Saxon path. So anyway, we start off with David Stoker, who is playing Tommy, Jack, and by extension, Brother Bones.
Yeah, what an amazing audition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was when you and I were on the same... You more than me.
Yeah, you actually had in mind another actor, and I went, no, you got to go with Stoker, because he nailed it. He got the menacing part down. And I understood why you wanted him for the other character. I listened to your advice. I went back and watched his audition again. Yeah.
And, one of the things you and I talked about was the fact that whoever ended up playing Brother Bones is going to be wearing a mask during half the film.
Yeah.
which is why we really needed an actor who could act with his body, with his eyes, because they will be visible through the slits of that mask.
Right.
And Dave has all those chops. He really does. He's that good an actor.
Well,
I think his physicality.
Yes. Yeah. And of the 3 who did it, who that they showed us, he did both parts. They had a sequence of the audition where Tommy and Jack Bonello are talking to each other. He did both parts. So that impressed the heck out of me.
He's playing twins the first half film, and then the second half, as we talked, he is going to be Brother Bones. So a lot is riding on David's broad shoulders. But you know what? The more I get to know him now personally, the more I'm thrilled. I think we got the right guy.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Anyway, the next one is Norman Newkirk. He plays Topper Wilde, another important character in this. And then Christopher Burns plays Swede. Josh Kibbe plays Reed Vengel. And then I'll pass it off to you, Ron.
Okay, so then we have Michael Loudon, who plays Trey Abelard. Nathan Hare is Bobby, or Blackjack Bobby Crandall, as the readers know him.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Case is Charlie. Spencer Funk is Pete Henderson. Nicholas Haritis, and forgive me if I got that wrong, Nathan, has the crucial role of Lieutenant Dan Raines.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Yeah. So
Ben.
Yeah, I'll take over. All
right.
Ben, because I'm going to mispronounce this one.
Thank you.
Ben, that's why I took this one, because who knows if you mispronounced the previous one. So Ben Leatawa. I hope that's right.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
I'm hoping that from the way it's spelled, it looks like Leatawa. He plays Brother Jonas. Lauren Walter plays Brother Anthony. Anna Lee Davis plays Sheila Henderson. Paige Henderson, strangely enough, plays Sally Page. Isn't that interesting? Paige got Paige.
Yeah, Paige got Paige. She is a charming young lady, Rob, and we've exchanged a few messages on Facebook, and we were all joking about the Paige connection, and that's pretty much kismet, if you want.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
I'll take this.
Take that one.
Coe Tyner is Judy. Camille Campbell is Madam Sadie.
And boy, did she nail that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She nailed it. She nailed it.
Yep. She's the actress, by the way, who actually went out and got a copy of the book first. And what I want to bring across here, because I'm a firm believer in being rewarded, Rob, for the good things you do in this world when you go that extra mile. What a lot of people, if you haven't read the stories, and please, why haven't you read the stories, loyal airmen? Go out and buy a copy of the book. We're making a movie, for Pete's sakes. All right?
Yeah, it's in Kindle and PDF, so yeah, you don't even have to spend a lot of money.
So that's what Camille did. Camille went and bought a copy of the book, and she read it. And she came in dressed up. She had a costume. She came in dressed up to read for the role of the bordello madam, Madam Sadie. But here's the thing. What she read, Rob, is maybe Madam Sadie's appearance in one, maybe two paragraphs tops. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you get. I mean, the character isn't overly fleshed out at all, because that wasn't the point of what I was writing. But when we translated it to film and we needed to do, the actual scenes, we had to augment the screenplay.
Right.
Meaning, flesh it out. We literally created a scene for her, which isn't in the book. So here she comes in doing this homework, going the extra mile, and now she lands a role that's pretty juicy in the end.
Yes. Yep.
So bravo to Camille, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, she nailed it. She really did.
All right. Next up we have Krista Johnson, who is Alexis Wilde, Topper Wilde's daughter. David Schechter, who is Butch Hammer, the proprietor and owner of the Gridiron Saloon. Now, Andrew Tripolini is Professor Bugosi.
Yes.
Did you recognize him?
No. What's he in? What else is he in?
He's done TV.
Yeah.
Over the years. I mean, lots of TV, Rob. All right?
I'll have to Google him.
Yeah, please do. Because there were several others in the auditions that I recognized. Because, between the two of us, I'm the guy who sees all these movies and TV shows and whatever. And the minute I saw Andrew reading, I recognized him immediately. He is a veteran TV character actor, Rob. And it was no surprise to me that he had a ball playing Professor Bugosi. Okay,
yes, he nailed it.
Get up.
Yeah, he nailed it. Let's see. Now, I'll pick up here, and it says Justin Dew plays Bruno Sancino. Is that how you pronounce that, Ron? Because that's your character.
You can't, or you can say Sancino.
Sancino, okay. Yeah, I would say Chino, because it looks like it's Italian. Thurman Kellogg plays Harry Beast, and that's Harry Beest. Okay, and Tom Harahan plays Father O'Malley. John Palms plays Waldo, and I have not seen what he looks like. He was not in the audition tapes.
No, he wasn't. But I have to tell you this, Rob, all right? Because, again, right, you and I look at the audition tapes, and I'm like, all right, this is great. And then I went, and I'm sorry, okay, that the joke's coming, right? But I wrote Eric, and I went, where's Waldo? So Eric gets back to me, and Eric says, don't worry, Ron. He goes, there's a local actor here named John Palms who's got that role. And then went on to explain this. Rob, he's a giant. He's a huge man.
Wow.
He's a good-looking fellow. If you look on Facebook at the character blocks that they put up the other day, and I've shared, you'll find his picture. He's a handsome man, average, whatever, but he's like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, which is perfect for Waldo. Yeah.
Right, and he's worked as monsters in other films where they had to apply a lot of heavy prosthetics.
So he's used to that. That's good.
So there you go. He's the perfect Waldo.
He knows how to act underneath a pile of makeup. Then okay.
Exactly.
So
all right.
Yeah. Then there's two more left here.
Yeah.
Michael Raimondi, I hope that's correct. Plays Paul Castle, and Gregory. I picked the last two that are hard to pronounce here. Gregory Klechiak. That's a guess. I'm betting that's it. And he plays Monroe.
Right.
And that's it. That's all the characters that we have at this point.
Those are the speaking roles for the movie, Brother Bones, the Undead Avenger. Again, the cast is phenomenal. I mean, the age group range from guys in their 50s to younger actors playing the different roles and whatever, but they all bring this amazing enthusiasm and energy for the project, and the opportunity to play in this kind of a movie, because as you and I know, Rob, most independent films aren't usually big explosive action features. They're usually the more quiet, sedate, character-driven pieces that we see that come out of the independent market, which is why when the casting call went out with this throughout Seattle, the word had already gotten out that Eric and Daniel were making a bona fide suspense genre action thriller, and these people jumped at the chance to be a part of that.
Something different, yes.
Really stretched their acting chops a great deal. All right, so, and then he finishes it with saying, we will be conducting interviews with them so that fans and backers can learn more about our talented actors. And yes, when I just mentioned that Kickstarter thing, you will be seeing, as the weeks go by, the plan is to refresh the Kickstarter, Rob, every single week, to add new videos, to add new biographies of the actors and the roles they're playing, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool.
Right. The idea is, to keep it fresh, to keep it out there for people to come back every week and look. And, for those people who, might waffle a little bit and say, I don't know if I want to do this or not, come back the following. Look at some of the other stuff that they're going to be talking about. We hope that Kickstarter can translate that level of enthusiasm that we're talking about here, okay, and how special this project really, really is. Okay, why don't you take that next paragraph?
Okay. We have secured that's number 2. We have secured a makeup artist. Her name is Remy Lee Blaustein, and she signed on after reading the first 15 pages of the script. A longtime horror fan, she has the right attitude for a project like this. As a side note, her eyes lit up when I mentioned that people would be shot with 45 bullets. Quote, she says, "That'll be a big wound," unquote. She said with delight. That's cute. She is a rising star in the makeup industry, and we are lucky to have her. That's funny. Okay. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then you have to expect that's exactly the reaction you'd get from a makeup artist.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
All right? I mean, you're going to be blowing chunks of people all over the place.
Oh,
all right?
Wow, that'll be a big wound.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. And so Eric finishes with what we've already given out, the cat, but I'm going to read it anyways. It says the Kickstarter should be launched by the time this episode airs. Now, that has just been proved to be gospel true. It is up. Of course, everyone involved with the production will be bombarding social media and other news outlets with the link. I have not had a cast that was this confident in a project's success. Of course, there's always a gamble, and as Ron, yours truly, always tells his authors, promote, promote, promote. The fundraiser will last 60 days, the maximum Kickstarter allows, and we will be updating it regularly with behind-the-scenes videos and interviews. So there you go, Rob.
Yep, I intend to share as much as I can to my Facebook page. That's my outreach to the social media world. So people who follow my Facebook page will probably get some info on this, and then you will be, I'm sure, plastering it everywhere and that you can think of, and maybe a few places you can't think of. But,
again,
it'll be
it's
there.
that thing, because Valerie brought that up to me when we were talking last week about the Kickstarter and the promotion, and she said this to me. She goes, how many names do you have on your regular email account, Rob? And I have over 350.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying now? So I'm literally going to write up a short press release with the link, and I'm going to batch mail it to 350 people.
Sure.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Okay? Get this closing statement, which we talked about again. If you would be so kind as to forward this to your own email accounts, it will do amazing things. From one little pebble, we will make ripples that will go across not just the pond or the lake, but the bloody ocean. Because, again, give that some thought, Rob, all right? If of the 350 names I have on my email account, I get 1/3 willing to participate and help us, that's over 100 people, A, contributing, and B, spreading the word. Well, 100 people, how many people in their address books?
That's the power of social media. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note that you have never been a huge fan of online fundraising like this, but now this has come along, and I think you see the real power that can be done with fundraising programs like this in social media. It's just incredible some of the stuff that's come about because of these sorts of things. So Kickstarter, and there's a couple of others that do the same thing. There's been some amazing products and entertainment things that have come from this.
There have been other films that have been funded this way.
Exactly, yeah. Some really exciting stuff.
Never mind just books or comics or whatever.
Right.
We've actually seen other films get funded in this exact manner.
Yep.
So, again, we can't thank all our loyal listeners enough for, hopefully pitching in and joining this campaign and helping us make it a reality. That's what I did want to finish. Couple notes that are not right here. But Eric is now, again, he talks about the enthusiasm of the cast, which, believe me, folks, he's not making this up, okay? These people are hungry to do this project, and they're going to need you to make that a reality. Here's the thing. He is hoping, if everybody can work it into their schedule, Rob, at the end of this month, where we'll be reaching the halfway point in the Kickstarter campaign, he's bringing them all together for what they call a script reading.
Ooh, okay.
So they're all going to sit down and read the movie from the script. God, would I love to have a audio connection in that room that day. But that should really, really further energize this cast.
I would
to
think,
become a unit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Hey, look, that's all the big news. We're not going to keep our loyal Legionnaires much longer. We actually got a letter this time out for this show, even knowing that what we were going to be talking about for the most part, and it's from our friend and writer David No, and this is what he wrote, and I know he was teasing me on Facebook, Rob. When you're up in your airship recording a podcast, do you ever get airsick? And when I read that this week, I chuckled, I laughed at it, right? But this is my thought with that question, Rob. When you and I first started doing this show, I think that's a really great metaphor for his question, because it isn't so much that we were getting airsick as a person would going up in an airplane, or somebody taking a cruise and being seasick till they get their sea legs. And honestly, I think when you and I first started doing this particular show on a regular basis, I think we were getting our podcast legs. And so I think over a couple of episodes, things were a little bit shaky as we tried to work out the format and what worked best for us and for the show. And wouldn't you liken that to that idea of what Dave's talking about?
Yeah, a little bit. And I'm going to treat it a little more seriously here as soon as we finish talking about this, about air sickness. But yeah, I think what you and I finally realized is that what we're doing here is pretty much what we do at conventions when we're together sitting at a table. We're talking to fans and we're trying to give them a feel for our enthusiasm for new pulp and the books that we work on, because this is not a business to us. This is a labor of love. We enjoy this. Neither one of us are getting rich on this, and neither are any of the artists and writers. But this is a medium that we love. We enjoy this type of storytelling. So once we figured out the fact that we're just essentially sitting here talking to fans like we would at a table, I think that's when everything fell into place and we lost our air sickness.
There you go. Wise words, Rob. Very wise. I've had several of our colleagues that we run into every year at the various pulp shows who have now become regular listeners, and we thank all the people who do that. And that was the comment they made, Rob. They went, thank God you guys didn't, get way too formal and try to put on airs, because I listened to the podcast, and it's like I'm at the cons talking to you guys across the table.
Yeah.
And bingo, that's what we wanted this show to be. And if that's what's getting across to our fans, then thank you so much.
Then we're succeeding.
We've achieved that end.
That's exactly what we had planned on. So anyway, David, I have a serious answer to your question about getting airsick. And there are some remedies. If you are in an airship, here are some remedies that you can use to make sure that you don't get airsick. And here's the basic. Eat small meals and stay hydrated. Be aware of situations that tend to trigger your symptoms. Reduce sensory input. Lie back and close your eyes. I think this all kind of applies to our podcast as well. Avoid this one. This one, I don't think this one is quite as serious. It says avoid reading. It may be tempting to catch up on work or sink into a good book, but reading or using a device like a computer or tablet should be avoided. I don't think that one works in this case. And then keep your head still. So, loyal airmen, keep your head still and listen to the podcast. And then number 2, a popular remedy for motion sickness, ginger root is often used in the form of lozenges, tea, capsules, tablets, crystallized root, candies, or, and my biggest recommendation, ginger ale. So there you go.
There you go. See, Dave, you got a legitimate answer. I like that. Thanks, Rob.
I saw that question and I googled the remedies for air sickness and figured I'd throw that in there just for fun.
We've become the all-purpose podcast. You realize that now, right? Ask us any question.
Yes.
We'll if we can't answer it, we'll find somebody.
Yes, we will.
Okay, hey, look, we're going to cut this one a little bit shorter than usual because we're coming up on the hour. And only because Ron wants to, take a few more little cold drops or whatever you have my dinner, and then sit down and launch my promotion frenzy, buddy. Oh, man, I'm going to be up tonight. The Kickstarter is out, loyal Legionnaires. I will send a link to Sparky, Grant Fowler.
Yes.
He will have it in the show notes.
There you go.
All right? Please share this with all your friends, families, and people. If you really want to see an honest-to-goodness, new, pulp, action movie, help us make this dream a reality. And thank you. Rob, any last words?
No, I just keep your head still and focused on the goal. So anyway,
all right.
This is Rob Davis, Chief Engineer of Airship 27, signing off. And Ron?
This is Captain Ron saying down ship.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.